Once again, we are back with Ek Bun Soch Ki Tea Talk kind of thoughts. In each and every episode, we try and invite the expert from the industry, the experts in different domain. They are the leadership series, they are the entrepreneurship series, there's a young achievers series which is there. Today on Tea Talk platform, we are having the senior category head of Parle, Mr. Krishnarao Buddha. Sir, welcome to Tea Talk.
Thank you.
Thanks for spending a valuable time and being part of our Tea Talk show.
The pleasure is entirely mine.
Thank you very much. First thing, when we get up in the morning, we could see Parle Ji. We have grown up with Parle Ji right from our childhood, and we have seen the various innovation with this organization they have done over a period of time. Mr. Krishnarao Buddha had been into Parle for more than 21 years. He started as a product manager, then gradually upgraded to senior product manager, then group product manager, then deputy marketing manager, and now as a senior category head in marketing. And his diversified experience to what we have seen. And earlier he started his career at the initial stage with an Maxwell Apparel, then with an Uncle Chips. Then he was there with Excelsior Foods and Gold Cross Limited. Having worked with those organizations and scaling up as far as the Parle which are concerned, the different category, let it be biscuit, let it be snacks, and let it be confectionery, or let it be rusk. So it's going to be an interesting insight, and we'll see on this platform the story of Mr. Krishnarao Buddha, where we have seen the consistency, as we have seen the consistency in Parle in terms of an innovation software product, in terms of an SKUs which are there. Likewise, the consistency as far as Mr. Krishnarao Buddha, step by step, gradually, he had made his base more stronger, and now it's more firm, sir. Once again, welcome to this Tea Talk show, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So, for the audience, may I request if you can share your journey from education till the start of a career, how it has been.
Yes.
The whole idea of asking this is that many of the youngsters, as we were in that age, we were confused at what we need to do in life.
Right.
But listening to an experts of their stories, we all were confused, we all in stress. Maybe
Absolutely.
Listening to you, they will get some inspirations.
Absolutely. So my story is also of of a very humble beginning actually. So my father was with railways, Indian Railways, Central Railway, and as a result of which it was like a transferable job, and so as a result of which I had schooling at different places. Mm-hmm. So a place in Nasik district called Manmad, so where I did my 10 plus 2 till up to plus 2 levels, and thereafter I pursued my graduation in science. So I am a BSc graduate with electronics as specialization. Mm-hmm. And thereafter actually I was wondering as to what would be my way forward. Mm-hmm. And so I had almost begun my preparation for competitive exams. Mm-hmm. And as I started, actually, that is the time when I inculcated habit of reading newspaper. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started noticing a larger demand for management graduates. Mm-hmm. And that made me ponder and think about joining a management course. And incidentally, my brother recommended me to join a master's course in personal management. Mm-hmm. And I felt, okay, this seems to be an interesting idea, and why not? And actually I enrolled myself for Masters in Personal Management. Mm-hmm. Upon completion of the first year, it's a 2 years PG course. Mm-hmm. And upon completion of the first year is when I gathered a lot more knowledge about management. Mm-hmm. And I felt that my interest lies in marketing, and why not I go for a full-time management MBA program. Mm-hmm. And that's when I got myself enrolled in this newly formed North Maharashtra University in Jalgaon. Mm-hmm. And I completed my MBA with marketing specialization. Mm-hmm. This was in 93-95. Mm-hmm. And then my journey began as usual. Mm-hmm. So my first my first job was with Maxwell Apparels.
So before that, I just sorry to interrupt you. Now you did BSc in electronics,
Right.
and then your maybe family they were saying you get into HR, but your passion was towards marketing, like.
Right.
So why not electronics?
Yeah, so somehow when so initially I felt electronics could be my cup of tea, but then as I progressed, so somehow I felt that I was not really willing, or I was not really able to cope up as much for electronics. Though initially I took that decision, but eventually I felt okay, there seems to be a marketing calling, and hence my interest sort of diversified. Personal management was not really out of choice. It was I would say I wanted to do something. I was, like I said, I was preparing for some competitive exams, and I said, okay, let me go in for this. So actually it was more guided by my brother than my own interest. But actually during that, I would say that was a critical part, critical period actually. That 1 year actually helped me scan a better perspective of the entire market, and that's when actually I realized, okay, my domain seems to be lying in management, and hence I chose management.
वहाँ पे एक वो सोच की जो आपने दिल ने कहा,
Correct.
पे आपका मार्केटिंग में आपका कोर है.
Right.
अब कभी दिल की आवाज भी सुननी चाहिए भी, जो आपने सुनी. एंड टुडे व्हाट वी आर सीइंग मिस्टर कृष्णराव बुद्धा as a senior category head of and one of a leading organization in India, and over when we talk in terms of the business category, they are the leading overall the world in terms of an business.
Absolutely.
So कभी आप अपने दिल की आवाज सुनो.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure like things are different what we are seeing now.
Absolutely.
So then how about your first job where you started? And
Yes.
how you started?
So I started with Maxwell Apparels. So इसकी भी कहानी थोड़ी सी अलग है. So before Maxwell happened, actually I had a short stint with a company called Medimix, Dorcas. So this is a Chennai-based company. So I joined them as in sales, and it was a brief period, but somehow actually that gave me a very good learning into the sales, hardcore sales management. Okay, so and then somehow again it so happened the circumstances were such that selling Medimix was extremely popular down south, but in Maharashtra it was extremely challenging, and it was an uphill task. So एक दुकान में like 3 साबुन बेचना अपने आप में एक बड़ा टास्क हुआ करता था. So somehow there was immense pressure, and actually because of that I was asked to leave the company. And which was a shocking moment, but then actually I feel this is actually a learning for me, and the company was right. There was nothing wrong, because somehow I was not able to perform, I was not able to sell as much. Incidentally, on that particular day, it was that one day where I could not sell, and I was asked to leave. And then thereafter I started hunting for a job, and I saw a very small advertisement in a newspaper, and that was in classifieds, in a small. I just circled it, and I'm telling you, this is real life. We would have seen this in movies कि ये नौकरी ढूंढ रहे हैं, तो मैंने भी ऐसी नौकरी ढूंढी. And I actually circled, and there was only small address, and I said, okay, let me go. This was for Maxwell Apparels, based out of Andheri, and opposite near Seeps. और मैं चला गया कहाँ पे, मरोल में उतर गया. I didn't even know this area, and from there I kept walking, asking, and I reached this was Maxwell, and the position was for sales officer. And I said, okay, let me go for this interview. Walk-in interview tha. So I reached there, and to my surprise, the product manager was interviewing the candidates. And when he heard about my project, he was quite impressed, and he said, we had called for sales officer, but we feel that you are suitable for a product executive position. So would you be interested? I said, why not? And instantaneously he took me actually to the directors. Both, there were like 2 partners, 2 directors, and he asked me to narrate about my project, and that's about it. I got the job. And that was my beginning in hardcore marketing. So after doing a small short stint in sales, I got into hardcore marketing. And
many a times what we have seen, like, if a person starts their career, they are a bit scared in terms of an sales. Where Mr. Krishnarao Buddha started with an sale, a hardcore selling, like with Medimex. They understand the pressure of an selling, what's all about. And somewhere down the line, if the passion is there of an marketing, आपके दिल में कुछ करने की अगर इच्छा होती है, rightly what happened in Sir's case, he got an opportunity as an product executive with Maxwell.
absolutely.
Yes, yes.
So that journey was really a fantastic experience for me. So at Maxwell, I started learning the tricks of the trade. So I started looking at what is print advertising. I started looking at developing of packaging. I started looking at developing point of purchase material. I started understanding the fabric, the nuances, the technicalities of the fabric, etc. The different branding elements. I started learning about advertising. So contract was our advertising then. So we started learning, and there was yet another agency called Advertising Avenues. So those were our creative partners, and we started learning slowly and steadily about marketing, and I got an opportunity to launch a premium innerwear brand called Revolta.
Revolta, yes.
So this was the time when a competitor brand like Jockey was introduced in the country, and Maxwell, which had iconic brands like VIP, Frenchie, Bonus, Designer, Feelings. So those were large brands, and they felt that these are largely the mass offerings. There should be a premium offering as well. And that's when Revolta happened, and Revolta created quite a furor in the market during its launch. The hoardings became a talking point. So there were several women organizations who like sort of opposed and said, you are showing a person with bare chested person right in front of us, it's not really fair. There were a lot of debates, discussions on that, but it did manage to create a lot of clutter breaking advertising, and we launched in all the leading cities in the country. And though initially it was a very, very successful launch, eventually somehow things again did not work. So I'm talking about again yet another failure actually. So though I was a part of the team, but I would say that somehow things did not work. Maybe somewhere there were gaps, and we could not connect well. And but at the same time, the failures taught me a lot of things. Okay, so they taught me to have a lot of patience and perseverance. Okay, and as my journey began there, so my product manager sort of had moved out, and I felt maybe this was also an opportunity for me to learn a lot more and look out for an opportunity. And as I was thinking about it, yet another there was an opportunity, and I saw an ad, and I thought, okay, let me appear for this interview as well. This was for Uncle Chips. This was based out of Noida. And because I was bachelor, so I was willing to relocate as well. So I just went. This was in Mumbai. I attended the interview, and I got selected for the second round a few days later, and I went in for that interview as well. And I managed to clear that interview, and then I was given an offer, and I went on to join Uncle Chips. Uncle Chips, I joined as an assistant product manager. So that was an elevation for me. So that was definitely a growth aspect somewhere, which I was pretty satisfied. So it was a new territory for me, Noida. Frankly speaking, the journey was very rough. So for the first 6 months, I really felt that I am actually going to leave everything and going to go back to Mumbai. But as time passed by, I got accustomed to the culture. And it was sort of a different culture actually. And I felt over a period of time, after 6 months, I actually started enjoying the culture there.
I think it's an excellent story of Mr. Krishnarao Buddha. Initially, like, he did his BSc in electronics, and then maybe family, they were suggesting him for an HR, but his dil jo kehta hai pura marketing ki taraf tha. And whereas we have seen his failure in Medimex also, and maybe somewhere in Maxwell, he felt like maybe dil mange kuch more. And then he got from April a shift to an FMCG. Now watch out for a next episode with Mr. Krishnarao Buddha, how his journey of an Uncle Chips and the further company it went on. Thank you very much for being part of this first episode of
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Tea Talk.
much.
Thank you very much.